York and Pennsylvania, we're surrounded by beautiful nature, and with that comes a lot of ticks, however. New York has one of the highest number of cases of Lyme disease in the entire country. And this week's Your Community Health, WENY's Renata Steele talks with a doctor about Lyme disease symptoms in an effort to better educate local health professionals on the signs.
Hello and welcome to Your Community Health. I'm Renata Steele with WENY News, and I am here talking to Dr. Richard Terry this week here at Arnott Health, and we are talking about Lyme disease this week. I think a lot of people may not know that Lyme disease is really an issue in our region, but Dr. Terry, what exactly is Lyme disease?
Well, Lyme disease is a type of infection, a constitution of symptoms. It's one of the tick-borne illnesses that can be spread by ticks, and we have a significant deer population here, and that they often are the carrier of that, and it can present in numerous ways.
And now, how do people, since it is primarily a tick-borne disease, how are people exposed to ticks? How do they end up getting a bite by a tick?
Well, basically being outdoors, being exposed to the outdoors, working outdoors in the woods, uncovered skin. They can get a tick bite. Many times this can go unnoticed. And many times they may have a rash, but sometimes they don't, and then they can actually contract Lyme disease that way, and that has a progressive, if untreated, it can progress to a primary, a secondary, and tertiary stage. And hopefully we're able to diagnose it early enough, because the treatments typically work very well when started early and at the appropriate time.
Now, there's actually an event that is an educational event for local doctors, is that correct?
And indeed, the Arnott Health Graduate Medical Education Department, along with an organization which, A Hope for Lyme, which does a lot about Lyme education for patients, have together partnered to sponsor an event free for all healthcare providers. Doctors, nurses, nurse practitioners, physician's assistants may attend, and this is March 30th. It's at the Elmira Country Club, and we have a couple of renowned speakers coming, including Daniel Cameron, and we also have a specialist from the Albany region, Dr. Brian McDermott. Dr. McDermott is an infectious disease specialist, and they're going to be presenting the various treatment options that are available for Lyme disease. There's a number of different guidelines, and frankly, I think a lot of primary care docs may even be confused on what's out there. So the idea was to teach the community, the physicians, about the guidelines, expose them to it, so at least they're aware of it, number one, on the treatment end, but also on the very subtle ways sometimes that Lyme disease can present on the diagnosis as well, both on clinical symptoms, but also on some of the diagnostic tests that are available. So this is purely an educational event for healthcare professionals to keep them, up to speed on where everything is, snapshot 2017, where they need to be as far as education is with Lyme disease, because we do have a fair amount of it in this region.
All right, well, Dr. Terry, thank you so much, and we're going to put more resources on our website regarding Lyme disease for you to go check out, so you can head to our website, WENY.com, with this week's edition of Your Community Health. Thanks for joining us.